A little birdie told me that we're leading in New Jersey. What's that all about? We love New Jersey. I always said about New Jersey, I said it's going to happen.
In the final days of this race, Donald Trump campaign is in a state of utter collapse. They are falling apart, and we see it all over the place in a newly released poll. Vice President Harris is up 3 points in Iowa as Republicans flee Donald Trump. And it's not just that they're fleeing him at the voting booth, they're also fleeing him at his own rallies. And we saw that tonight when Donald Trump held a rally in Virginia that was just an absolute mess. So bad that Fox cut away from it and Republicans left early. Yes, Donald Trump's MAGA crowd, which didn't even fill up this half-empty space, left early while Donald Trump was speaking, and he lost his mind. And we are going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me now. Before we get into Donald Trump's disastrous meltdown at a half-empty, just tired, sad rally, let's hear from VP Harris at an incredibly energetic rally today.
I have 3 days to get this done. And no one can sit on the sidelines. Let's spend the next 3 days so when we look back 3 days from now, we will have no regrets about what we could have done. Let's knock on doors. Let's text. Let's call. Reach out to your family, your friends, your classmates, your neighbors, your co-workers, your play cousins. You know what I'm saying. And please, during the course of these next 3 days, I ask, let us please be intentional about building community. Let us be intentional about building community. You know, there's something about this whole Trump era that really was to try and suggest that the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of what we know, the real strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. Let's be intentional about building community, and let's be intentional about building coalitions, remembering that the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And there is power in that. There is power in that approach, and it will strengthen our country. And so I'll leave you with this. Let's remember, and please remind everyone, your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power. And don't let anyone ever take your power from you. Right? So, North Carolina, today I ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Listen to the energy in that crowd, an excited group of tens of thousands of people ready to turn out and vote for VP Harris and move this country forward. Turn the page on the hate fest that is Donald Trump and his campaign, every rally so angry and full of grievance, and instead they want to move forward. And that is exactly what we are going to be doing. And it's the reason why we see so many people turned off by Donald Trump, including his own supporters. It's no shock that these people were leaving early, especially with Donald Trump rambling like this.
You know who comes from the insane asylums? You know who it is, right? They always give me a hard time. Hannibal Lecter, the great Hannibal Lecter. You know the press to show you how bad they are? I'm talking about insane asylums, and then I'm talking about Hannibal Lecter, a little lighthearted humor about a very unfunny subject. And they always go, he always brings up Hannibal Lecter. What does that have to do with it? It has to do with the fact that these are the kind of people coming into our country from insane asylums. That's what it has to do. They always say, oh.
Bringing back Hannibal Lecter to be a part of the close argument in the final days of your campaign is a perfect representation of what is going on with Trump right now. Trying to go back to a time in which he thought he was doing well. I don't even know what he's doing anymore. Neither does he. Neither does his campaign. It is in a state of utter collapse. And so Donald Trump is really just flailing around at this point. And it's not just me who thinks these speeches are terrible. And I know it's not just you as well, but it was the crowd behind him. Look how bored they are before people started to leave.
The people that have been so badly hurt, they don't even call them, they don't talk to them. They couldn't care less. It's incredible, actually. I don't get it. Nobody gets it.
You can just see how tired and sleepy and annoyed the MAGA crowd is, and you can hear how silent it is in there. And that is the reason that Donald Trump's supporters got up and decided to leave. And my favorite part about the clip that we're about to check out, seeing them just walk out as also observe how many empty seats there were already in this event. People showed up only to leave, but barely any did. And we can see that right here.
In Virginia GOP chairman. What do you think, Richard? You're gonna win here? Huh? You better.
You can hear Trump is in the middle of his speech and people are they're walking on out. They have had enough. They are fed up with Donald Trump, even his most loyal supporters in Virginia. So that's some pretty extreme MAGA right there. If you're a Donald Trump supporter in Virginia and they couldn't take him anymore. They were tired. They were annoyed. They had had enough. They were ready to leave. But on the opposite side of the campaign trail, we see the excitement behind VP Harris. And I see that perfectly encapsulated in a speech from one of our favorites on this show, that's Senator John Oof in Georgia. And let's take a look at that.
This is an election about the character of the President of the United States. In Atlanta, Donald Trump is unfit to be President of the United States. He cannot be trusted to wield the power of the presidency. And I'm not talking about bad manners. I'm not talking about mean tweets. I'm talking about misconduct and the abuse of power. He tried to throw out your votes. You all remember the phone call? You remember the phone call where the sitting President of the United States, after you all defeated him in the state of Georgia, you all defeated him in the state of Georgia. And you'll defeat him again in the state of Georgia. But defeated, the will of the people having been that he should leave office, Donald Trump wanted to refuse. So he called up our state's senior election officials. You remember the phone call. He threatened them. He badgered them to, quote, find him the votes that he needed to win in a state that he had lost. Atlanta, he tried to throw out your votes. You know what Barack says, don't boo. There you go. Now think about what it means for the sitting president to try to throw out your votes. You know what has been given for the struggle for voting rights in the state of Georgia and across the American South. John Lewis, just 25 years old, 500 strong, they marched down Highway 80 from Selma to Montgomery.
character matters. It matters in this race. It matters in our president. It should matter everywhere. Donald Trump wouldn't be allowed to work the fake job that he did at McDonald's because of his lack of character and, of course, his many felonies, but that's something that we should be continuing to talk about, especially in the state of Georgia, where Donald Trump wanted to pry away the voice and the vote of millions of people because he is such a petulant child and wanted to overturn the results of that election. We remember that. And we need to continue to talk about it. And we need to continue to talk about the other rights that Donald Trump wants to strip away, which is what Tim Walz did right here.
And by doing this now, we have 20 states, including Arizona, that have Trump abortion bans in place. And now this week, he tells us he's going to put RFK Jr. in charge of women's health. Yeah, but he even made it a little clearer for you. Donald himself said, "Don't worry, he'll be your protector." Can't even open the door of a garbage truck, and let alone so. Well, look, he followed up in the last day or so and said he's going to do that whether women like it or not. So some of this stuff might be comedy fodder if this guy would go back to just being a buffoon on TV, but he's not. He's asking to be president of the United States again. And so because of that, now what we're seeing, what he means is, women are turned away from emergency rooms and miscarriaging in parking lots, whether they like it or not. Survivors of rape and incest are being forced to carry those pregnancies to term, whether they like it or not. Fertility clinics have turned couples away at the door, whether they like it or not. And for so many of you out here, and for the women here certainly, it's personal. On the fertility side, Gwen and I have talked about our struggle with this. We struggled for years with infertility. Because we had insurance and fertility treatments, we had our beautiful family. I will be damned if anyone will take that from anybody in this country. You're right.
I am so glad that this is a part of the closing argument for the VP Harris campaign. Not just that Donald Trump and his past administration stripped away rights, fundamental freedoms from women across this country with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, but that Donald Trump thinks he can continue to do that because he wants unchecked power and he wants to allow those around him to have it as well. That should terrify us. And that is why VP Harris's closing argument, unlike Donald Trump, who was only focused on himself, is about us. And we see that right here.
Name's Hannah.
Come here, Hannah. Shake my hand. How you doing?
Good.
And bring everybody back together.
And that's exactly how I feel.
That's what I'm doing, man.
Okay, you
So,
have to stay in touch with me, okay?
I would
I'm
love
very
to.
serious about that.
Love to.
Okay. Throughout this campaign, I've seen the best of America, and I've seen what is holding you back and weighing you down. High costs, fundamental rights taken away, and politics that have driven fear and division. You deserve better. As president, I'll bring a new generation of leadership. I'll take on price gouging and bring down the cost of groceries and housing and prescriptions. I'll fight for your freedom to make your own choices, and I will protect your health care and your benefits, not take them away. The vast majority of people in our country have so much more in common than what separates them. Good people, hardworking people. We see in our fellow Americans neighbors, not enemies. We believe in each other. We believe in our country. We're not falling for these folks who are trying to divide us. Together, we'll build a brighter future for our nation, where we stand for freedom, we stand for justice, we stand for the dignity of work. We haven't yet quite reached all of those ideals, but we will die trying because we love our country. Now, the baton is in our hands. I pledge to seek common sense solutions to make your life better. And I pledge to be a president for all Americans. Now I'm asking for your vote, because as president, I will get up every day and fight for the American people. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
What an incredibly powerful campaign ad to close this race with. VP Harris is focused on the future. She has focused on us, and she will defeat Donald Trump. I am so excited for election night. I'm still a little nervous, but I'm feeling great. And if you are as well, and you want to support the work that we're doing as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you have already voted for Vice President Harris, which I am excited to be doing tomorrow, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to thank you. We are all excited. And until next time, I'll see you soon.